Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of Miss Ziggy's Dog Tribe. And today we have a very special guest with us. I'd like to introduce Dr. Devanshi Desai, who is one of Bombay's leading top canine behaviorists and trainers. She has been doing this for the last 10 years, more than 10 years. Dr. Devanshi has trained thousands of dogs all over, whether in person and online. She has an array of clientele all over the world. She does online classes as well. And a lot of the dogs that she trains are the fur babies of celebrities. She also had started her company called Wag To School, which is what we are going to be discussing today, puppy school and training and education for your dogs.
Hi, Neha. Thank you for having me here. And thanks to you and thanks to Ziggy that actually I am here. So a little bit about, say, myself first is, of course, like every dog trainer or behaviorist, we all start at wanting to work with dogs. And then you realize after becoming a trainer and behaviorist that here you do not have to work with dogs, but you have to work with people. And that's when the bubble breaks, and you have to learn to maneuver yourself to make dogs' lives better and change and learn every step that you find any kind of problem and you want to fix it. You have to learn and update yourself to be able to teach other dogs as well as humans. So when I started off, I found it really difficult because I would do training, but there was so much more involvement, not only from the trainers, but also the breeders, the veterinarians, the groomers, and there's a whole village that you need to use in terms of educating pet parents as well as training a dog. So initially, I really struggled, and I have this whole curious mindset of if I'm struggling with something, I need to figure out a way to work around it. So I spoke to a lot of vets, and because I'm also having a medical background, I am a dentist or used to be a dentist by profession.
Wow.
A lot of vets agreed to meet with me and have this discussion. And then we sorted out where probably the problem factors are, and Back to School started. And Wag To School basically is a place which I have built as an ecosystem with vets, groomers, pet parents, other puppy parents who are struggling with the same issues, coming in together and learning things for the betterment of the dog. So yes, initially it started off as an offline concept in vet clinic because the age that I wanted to catch these pet parents or the puppies was at a very naive young age. So I wanted basically for pup parents to start it off correctly. And of course, the vets were a little bit concerned about it, about the pups getting out in the environment because the vaccinations aren't complete. So what we decided is let's start this at veterinary clinics itself. So I would give up all my weekends, and for 7 years, I think we did an offline version of the puppy class with two vets in Bombay, one in Andheri and one in Bandra. After which the pandemic hit, and I don't know, somewhere down the line, I think Wag To School grew a lot after the pandemic as well because in physical puppy classes, I could educate max 7 to 10 pet parents in a
Yeah.
batch. But when it's the online puppy class started, we just realized how far we could go, how many people we could educate. And then our online puppy class got me completely exhausted during the pandemic because we had people from all over the country, all over the world, joining the puppy class on weekends, coming in together and learning what's right for their puppies and how to do it correctly. It
That's
started.
incredible. And I also want to tell our viewers that Ziggy has also been a student of Wag To School and she absolutely loved it. So, and actually, it was a real saving grace to have your online class during the pandemic because physical training classes had stopped for her. And she was at that age where, she had learned the basic commands of like, sit, stay, no, roll over and all of that. But what you realize as a pet parent going ahead is that those commands can only take you so far. There are lots of different situations that you come across as a pet parent that you literally don't have the answers to, and those commands are not going to help you there. So puppy school was amazing because it was so comprehensive and it taught me so many things that I didn't even know that you were going to teach, and I didn't even know that they were things that I could learn. So I loved that about attending your class. So let's discuss what are all of the things that you actually cover in the class.
Okay. So how you were saying that when you decided to join the puppy school, prior to that, you were doing offline sessions and you thought only sit, stay down, and obedience commands is the way to go when it came to training. And it's, I think somewhere down the line, all pet parents think that when it comes to training, and somewhere even I did when I joined my dog training course. But what I feel now after a decade of working with pet parents and dogs, that command training is just a part of living with your dog. It's not even as important as understanding what your puppy wants from you, giving that to them, and then eventually building a relationship where even you tend to get what you want from your puppy. Because command training somewhere teaches us mainly the bribing method where we tell our dog to do something and then we reward them. Yes, it's not incorrect, but that is only one minute part of training. So you've attended my puppy school and you know that out of the 8 sessions that I do, only one class is about learning commands. Because learning commands is easy. It's something you can do looking at a YouTube video also, or you can even learn through just basically holding a treat and your dog can offer you behaviors and you can mark it, etc. But what is important is planning what your dog needs and planning basically what all you need to inculcate in the whole process of raising your dog. So even the word training and obedience, according to me, I try really hard to keep self-correcting myself not to use it, because I don't see anybody use these words in any other relationship. So especially when it's a personal relationship, which is what a dog is now. So which other relationship do you send across your child or your spouse or a sister? I would love to train my brother, but yes, which other relationship do you use the words obedience and training under? So
None.
why are we constantly going in thinking that this is still a professional relationship? Yes, they love to work for us, but they should also want to work for us. And
Yes.
for that, you need to build a really strong relationship. And that's why my motto is always relationship based training. It's not a one-way relationship. You can't just keep expecting your dog to listen to you. And if I were your dog, I would look at you and say, who are you? Like, why should I listen to you?
Yeah.
And yes, I would be then called as the most stubborn dog ever. But that's because you've not bothered building a relationship with me to want to listen to you. So these words like untrainable, stubborn, naughty, he's impossible to train is because these are things that humans have not understood, that why should a dog listen to you? Just because you're feeding him, just because you're letting him live in your house, but that's something you have decided to do. You have chosen to get this animal who's not of your species to come live with you. You
Yeah.
have sent out that invitation. So you can't send out an invitation and expect your puppy or your dog to do all the work, right? And even if you do want him to work for you or do listen to you, then figure out how to build that relationship. And that's what puppy school teaches. The first session is basically basics, like what pet parents have never understood to even bother learning, is how to pick up a puppy. Like these are the things that I would watch pet parents pick up puppies incorrectly, and then I would put myself in the puppy shoes and wonder what would be the best way I would want to be lifted. Then things like, why are you lifting your puppy in the first place? Your
Yeah.
puppies have 4 legs. No mother of a puppy is going to lift up the puppy, right? So who are
Yeah.
you and why are you constantly lifting up your dog? I think I told you that and your heart was like broken, but what? And then comes the consent part of it. So asking a dog or your puppy for consent is very small, but it takes you a long way in your relationship with your dog. And when you start off by being a respectful pet parent, the puppy is going to want to happily please you and listen to you. Then everything falls in place. But what we tend to think is potty training is the first thing. And most
Yeah.
of my pet parents are disappointed in my first class. So I had to arrange my curriculum. And yes, I do potty training on the first class itself as well. But before that, we do a lot of this consent, understanding why are you teaching commands, what you need to build a relationship. Then we go on to the potty training part. Once the pet parent is happy with the potty training lecture and everything they need to know, then we take on the pet parent and the puppy to a new journey of exploring life. And that's what puppy school is all about.
That's amazing. And I love the fact that you mentioned the word building a relationship. I think that's so important. And I see that now. When I started training for Ziggy, I obviously didn't understand that, that's how it's going to be, like a mutual respect built between me and my dog. And, also I realized that she's kind of like, to her, initially, we are all like aliens. We don't speak dog language and she doesn't speak English. So actually, I realized that my trainers, especially you, was like a translator for between the two of us. You kind of understand what the dog requires, and you also know what is the end goal of the parent at the end of the day. What is it that the parent actually wants. You want them to have a dog that's not aggressive, not troubling, and at the same time you also look at it from the dog's point of view. The dog does not want to just be picked up, cuddled, coochie cooed all day, made to just sleep in one corner and only go for a walk for pee poop and stuff. And there's so many myths that are there about having a dog that were busted in puppy school, where you just said, look, your dog doesn't have to go out for a walk onto the road to do his or her business. And I was like, what? Because there's so many parents, pet parents like me and my husband, who have such an unpredictable work schedule that it's almost impossible for us to, plan a walk every single day at a particular time where she would need to go and to train her in that manner. And the fact that you gave us an alternative to that made it so amazing that it took our relationship to the next level, because we were getting a schedule that we could manage, and she was also getting to do all the fun stuff that she wanted to, and we didn't have an issue anymore. All the issues that I had kind of vanished when puppy school happened, because you covered such amazing insightful topics about building a relationship with your pet in different ways, that it was absolutely incredible. I mean, I highly recommend this to anybody who has a puppy, and honestly, I personally think that any age should be able to join. Am I correct?
Yeah, so the puppy school, what we talk about it now that it's online, anybody at any age can join, but the results will be a little bit slower because there's a lot of unlearning to do. Like
Correct.
you said, for you, you came to me with this whole potty training problem, which was like this big when it wasn't this big. It's
Yeah.
just the way you were looking at it. Like most pet parents think that their dogs need to go for a walk for peeing and pooping, or they need to go for a walk as a form of exercise. Now, if you were a human who was given a sense of, say, preconceived notion about how humans should be and follow exactly those rules, like supposing humans actually should walk 10,000 steps a day to be healthy,
Yeah.
right? How many humans actually choose to do that,
Correct.
right? So there are these fixed rules again for a lot of disciplined lifestyles. Like military requires a lot of disciplined lifestyle, right? But your dog is not going to military school that
Yeah.
he needs to go for 3 walks a day and has to pee and poop outside.
Hmm.
As long as you are fulfilling the exercise, the outdoor experiences, which of course, if people follow your page, they know how many experiences Ziggy has been through. Get the daily routine needs through play, like mental stimulation, play, exercise through outings, not only just walking, then your dog will have a fruitful life. But if every day you have a scheduled routine life, which I don't know why, like people think that dogs enjoy that only,
Yeah.
because it's less stressful. Yes, it's less stressful for a parent, it's less stressful for the dog, but exploring life together can be stressful, adventurous, fun, and the outcome of that is you come back even stronger in a relationship. So keeping things unpredictable is fun, and that's the person I am. I can't be like telling a pet parent whenever they ask me for homework or they ask me for a program or a schedule, you won't get it from me.
Yeah.
You'll be highly disappointed if you are a very organized person. My training is like, let's explore different things and see what your dog loves the best and what you love the best.
Yeah.
So that's what I asked you. What do you want? Where do
Yeah.
you want Ziggy to go? If you want to keep a mix of outdoors and indoors, why not? Who's stopping you? It's your dog,
Yeah.
right? And that's when we got to speak after your problems got fixed a lot about how we can make yours and Ziggy's life more adventurous, and like how YOLO happens for humans.
Yeah.
Even dogs have one life. So make
Absolutely.
the most of it. And a lot of people like will, so again, cuddling is not bad. Like how you make Ziggy all dressed up is not wrong. But only doing one thing and not doing other things as well is incorrect. So yes, you can treat your dog as a cuddle bear or a teddy bear, but not all the time. It's, you can't define a dog saying he's just made for this.
Yeah.
There has to be a spectrum, how humans have a spectrum of different skills that they have. Even a dog deserves to have that whole spectrum and skill set, where your dog feels like, okay, my pet parent did something for me and made sure that I have a fulfilling life as well.
As humans who are thinking about getting a dog, in our mind, we have all these set things. Like, what are the things that are our biggest concerns? Who's going to walk the dog? Where is the dog going to do the business? Is it going to be outside or inside? And most of the times, they have to go for a walk to do their business outside. And that's it. And that covers the exercise. And we think that that's going to take care of them like the entire life.
Sit, stay. How do you forget sit, stay, heel?
Oh, yeah, of course, the basic commands of sit, stay, heal. But we think that because we're giving the dog a really, really nice house to stay in, the dog is automatically going to be like super obedient and just sitting there waiting for us and not destroying anything and all of that. So I think that, the fact that there were so many different options for how you can deal with the problem uh, really made it amazing for me because in my head, I was like, no, this is how it has to be. And you were like, no, this is not how it has to be. It can be one of the options, but there are like 20 other options for you,
Yeah.
and then you can pick and choose what works for both you and your dog. And you see the difference that it makes because you get super stressed out if you're just trying to stick to that one thing. But the minute you open it up to see what else could be possible, it makes it so much easier. And if it works for you, then it works. And if it works for your dog, then it works.
But everybody thinks, oh, when I get a puppy, I just need to see YouTube videos, learn, blah, blah, blah. And once I've done that, that means I'm an eighth parent. Like Shirin Merchant says always, that's my mentor. She says, the day you think you know everything about dogs, you will step in dog poop.
That's awesome.
People have this idea that if they come to me for training, oh, like I'm going to give them a developed dog like Ziggy Basu, right?
Yeah.
That's not going to happen because it's not Ziggy only. It's Ziggy, it's Neha, it is, say, Lisha, who's the groomer, it is, say, multiple trainers that Ziggy has been with, it's Kunal, it's the whole family that makes Ziggy who she is. So
Absolutely.
you can't come to me with a Shih Tzu and then expect that, oh, your Shih Tzu is going to do everything that Ziggy does. That means if I have taught my kid to pick up a bat, he's going to suddenly be Sachin Tendulkar.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. People need to understand that whether it's training, whether it's education, it's only a part of your dog's life. That part of your dog's life has to make your dog feel good about himself as well. It has to build what most people don't realize, that sit, stay, and controlling commands like no, heel, alpha roll. These are actually curbing your dog
Mm.
potential. They are actually putting your dog under stress because your dog doesn't understand why you need him to heel. Your dog doesn't understand why you need him to sit or even a stay because it just doesn't make sense to them in the animal world because they don't give each other these commands.
Yeah.
So when your dog is living with you, he shouldn't feel like human race is like this. My God, I don't understand what is the obsession with potty training and what is the obsession with sit stays.
Yeah.
The commands, say whatever agility, games, all that has to have a purpose. And the purpose should be building your dog's confidence as well as working towards building a great relationship between you and your dog.
A lot of pet parents on Instagram who get in touch with me always say things like, you know what, my dog has been trained in XYZ topic, but I still have issues with the dog is not focused on me, the dog is very distracted, doesn't listen, is becoming aggressive. So I don't believe in training anymore. And honestly, to those people, what I want to say is that yes, you may have done X number of training sessions with a really good trainer, but that doesn't equate to having a trained dog, or a well educated or a well socialized dog. Because what follows after the training is what you do with your dog. So definitely my advice to pet parents is, please don't think that your trainer is like, it stops at your trainer. You have to carry on what your trainer is teaching. Sure.
And if you don't enjoy doing, say, XYZ, there are lots of options at providing it. So, like you say, you call me a celebrity trainer. Of course, my celebrity clients don't have the time all the time to do what I ask them to do. But they've learned the basics. They do not have behavior issues at home. A, because all the dog's needs are being taken care of. And then they enjoy the part where the dog and they can relax together, as well as play once in a while with the correct ways that we've taught them. But now a lot of people think this all what parents have to do is a lot of stress.
Yeah.
If you can't provide it yourself or have facilities to provide enough physical stimulation, mental stimulation, and education to your dog, this is when I say you should not get a dog. But otherwise, when it comes to even like say you don't have time and you provide XYZ needs by educated people in the dog's life, your dog will be well behaved. So it is your responsibility to be either physically capable of doing a lot that the dog needs or financially capable of doing what the dog needs.
In Wag To School, in the puppy school, we learned some really fun, interesting, creative, extremely creative ways to ensure that your puppy is stimulated, happy, engaged, busy. And honestly, if this time isn't invested into puppy school, there's so much more time that goes into worrying about why the furniture is being chewed up and taping things down, because otherwise it's going to get destroyed, and stressing about all of it and talking to other people about it and talking to other pet parents about what they did. Attend puppy school, you're sorted.
Coming up, and luckily now we have people like you, which I'm very grateful for, because a lot of people will look at you and Ziggy and realize that small dogs are capable of doing everything big dogs can. Absolutely. It is such a myth that small dogs are duds and they don't know anything. My smartest dogs are my tiny little dogs because I can do more with them. The big dogs, I'm still like that. Yeah. The small dogs, I can do so much more with. And so can the pet parents. So it's not the size of the dog or the size of the brain. It's the amount of knowledge, confidence, education you can put in there, and skill development. And that's something that will, I think, go a long way. So there is nothing like a well-trained, fully obedient dog, because I don't see somebody saying, oh, I am completely educated. You're capable of picking up new skills. You're capable of surviving anywhere you go because your base nature is human. So similarly, the base nature of a dog is adaptability. Whether you work with the dog at 2 years or 10 years or 5 years, it will take time, but the dog will adapt. Yeah. So it's never too late to train, adopt, or bring in an older dog, because at any age, it's the brain. It can pick up skills and change. It just needs 21 days of consistency, like Modi taught us, that we can get used to the lockdown.
So Devanshi, can you tell us a little bit about how you actually managed to teach everything in puppy school online?
So when the lockdown first came in, I wasn't, say, new to the field of online dog training. I always had done it. I'd done it for tons of clients abroad before. It was great because pet parents did most of the work. And then the online puppy school started. I remember we did like around 7 batches. Each batch had 20 to 30 pet parents.
Wow.
I remember your batch also had like 15, which was on the second pandemic, where we took on small topics. We did live demos. We had pre-recorded videos. We because WhatsApp got very chaotic in our first puppy school, we used help of digital apps that had like literally like what kindergarten students use. There was a digital app where people could write their comments, put in their practice videos, and everybody could see it. Everybody had their journal. I would just sit on Saturday, Sunday. I would talk through 2.5 hours of puppy school. Everybody was learning. We had a graduation, and it was just all so much fun. I remember when I just started off dog training, my mentor, and I know she'll laugh at me. She's like, do not take up celebrity clients. She said they do not have the time, but that's
Yeah.
not true. And today, like just recently, I did a podcast with her about all my celebrity clients and how wonderful they are and how much they didn't know that they had to do with their dogs. And once they know, they're like every other human. They do find
Yeah.
time to understand their dog, live with them, because it's not, we just have this whole idea and we stereotype a lot of people, which is
Yeah.
not fair, because how much of a busy a pet parent you are or a human parent you are, you do find it in your heart to find that time to give the puppy or the kid what it needs. And I think education is something that is missing, and just not being open to the idea of different avenues.
I wanted to ask you, once you're done with puppy school, what do you then recommend for pet parents to keep the training going? I think I read in one of your articles, training for your dog is like a gym membership for yourself. You're not going to just go once, learn how to do like running on the treadmill, using some equipment and all, and then finish.
So if you ask me, puppy school is just like a foundation of what you need to teach your puppy. So just briefing you again, what I feel a pup parent needs in the form of raising a dog correctly. One is, of course, your needs, that is your potty training needs. Then how to play with this dog. Ziggy is in your room, I am sure, but
Yes.
is not bothered you at all in this conversation because you have learned how to keep her busy.
Yeah.
And she has learned that when you're busy, she can keep herself busy and it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
This separation anxiety and my dog gets restless and all that is because your dog thinks it's the end of the world when you're not listening or looking or playing with them. To teach the puppy a balance. That's another part of puppy school. Handling and grooming. Again, if you start randomly coming to my house and combing my hair, I'm not going to allow you to do it,
Yeah.
especially if I was a child,
Yeah.
right? So if we just expect the puppy to come to your place and just be allowed to be groomed and handled by you, the puppy is again going to be like, excuse me, no sorry, not touching, not touching, please not touching, I bite you. And that's where you will complain that the puppy keeps mouthing me every time I try to brush or comb him,
Yeah.
right? So first is again potty training, then how to play, then how to correctly groom and make sure it's a fun grooming process for you and your dog. Because sometimes it's so traumatic for pet parents when they're struggling with the whole handling and grooming.
Yeah.
Then socialization. It is so misunderstood. People think socialization is allowing a puppy to do whatever he wants with another human or a dog. That's it. Nothing beyond that. That means take my puppy out to multiple humans and let him do what he wants. Same thing with the dog. Take him to a dog park and let him do what he wants. Forget that also. Like Ziggy used to go to Carter Road and chase birds. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, my God, Neha has no idea what kind of problems is she inviting. Because she thought, oh, wow, it's so cute, my puppy. This Shih Tzu puppy is running into chasing other birds. Socialization is learning the art of living and let live. A social person is not a nosy person who's in everybody's business. I hope so. A social person is not somebody who's getting overexcited or overtly depressed in situations. And that's what you want from your puppy. And to achieve that, you have to be understanding socialization and teaching it to your puppy at every situation. And when does socialization end? Never.
Never.
Right? So
Yeah.
socialization is something that I need to cover in depth, so I do. Then understanding veterinary equipment, how to make vet visits fun, make
Yeah.
sure the grooming experience is fun. outdoor commands, outdoor walking. Why is your puppy not responding to you outdoor? Is because most of the time your goal to going outdoors is potty training. So if
Hmm.
you allow your dog to ignore you, and that's what I told you also, I remember that
Yeah.
all you're doing with Ziggy downstairs is making her paying attention to potty training.
Yeah.
So she's just like, do hell with Neha, I'll just do my own thing. I'll keep getting distracted, watch the cars go by, watch the rickshaws go by, pick up
Yeah.
things in my mouth. Because you are not entertaining her
Yeah.
outdoors, so she's entertaining herself.
Yeah.
So if you want to be someone she listens to outdoors, you have to, from day one, teach her not to ignore you over the environment, whether it's people, whether it's dogs, it's other animals. That's what your outdoor training or educating should be. So yes,
Yeah.
I do teach commands as well, but teach commands that probably would help you and your dogs. Like a stay or a wait is something where you can eat peacefully in front of your dog.
Hmm.
Learn things which are going to be in your everyday routine with your puppy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, then you're going to hit problems and then you become the corrector and your puppy just doesn't want to listen to you or may listen to you because he's scared of you.
Hmm.
And I don't know where that relationship is going to take you. Your dog is scared of you. After puppy class gets over, that's where your journey with your dog begins to explore and see where you and your dog can understand each other and to what level. And yes, you can take breaks. You don't have to meet the trainer every day. But whenever you hit a problem, what is the problem in asking for help? Why do pet parents allow their problems to grow or discuss it on mediums like Instagram or even say to their pet parents think who they think know everything, but there hasn't been any kind of dog training education in Indian curriculum or any curriculum as far as I know. Only a dog training expert or a behaviorist like who keeps learning themselves should be chosen for your dog, because if you have somebody who just gives you one solution and it's not working for you, doesn't give you another, probably you've not been in the best relationship with them.
So here's a fun section for you guys. I'm just gonna read out some of the commonly asked questions that I get from pet parents on Instagram. Please read between the lines. Okay. Do I have to play with my dog every day?
Is that a question? Okay. My answer would be like, no, not at all. You can just probably dress up your dog, keep them on a shelf, and then just look at them all day. I think serves the purpose, right?
Oh God. Do I have to get a trainer for my puppy?
Not at all. You have to only get a trainer for yourself.
Do I have to keep my dog on leash outdoors?
Uh, no, not at all. You can just tie him around yourself or carry him in the bag so that other people don't think that you have a pet snake.
Amazing. My friend also has a puppy. Can my puppy go play with him?
How often do you go to play with your friend? And what is that puppy going to teach your puppy in the form of play? So you can, no one's stopping you, but think about what your puppy is going to be learning and teaching the other puppy.
Yikes. What if my dog gives me coronavirus?
Oh my God, is that a legit question? Please let me know how your dog did give you coronavirus when you get it.
Oh
Because then
God.
you need to contact some kind of medical agency for that.
Why are dog trainers so expensive?
I work for free because I have nobody to feed. I don't have to live in any house or even probably have a vehicle of my own or have a life, because I love dogs and I should work for free.
Of course. Okay, Devanshi, this has been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for sharing such amazing information with us. I hope that this answers a lot of questions for pet parents that they've been asking me on Instagram. And I hope that it helps you guys to connect with a good trainer, maybe Devanshi, the way we did, and have build a beautiful relationship with your dog. Thank you so much, Devanshi.
my just ending advice to everybody, just keep it light, keep it fun. Don't take this whole training and everything too seriously, especially when you have
Yeah.
a pet dog. And if you're taking a dog for a show dog or an obedience trial, ask yourself why. If it's not fun for you or your dog, don't do it. Don't do anything that is not fun.
I think we are definitely testament to the fact that both Ziggy and I are having the best time during training. Anyone just has to look at any one of our videos to know that she's having fun and I'm having fun. So clearly it works.